Okay, thank you. You're on.
All right, thank you, Will. I'd like to call the Monona Grove School District Board of Education Special School Board Meeting Public Hearing to order. Has there been a declaration of public notice?
Yes.
Thank you. Moving to the district informational presentation regarding the initial resolution authorizing general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $1,205,000 and calling a public hearing in connection therewith, which was adopted on March 10th, 2021. The project and the proposed financing.
Jared, you're muted.
All right, can everybody hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so I put together a short PowerPoint just to guide us through the public hearing. So the purpose of tonight's public hearing is for our solar project that we would like to place at the Monona Grove High School. The reason that we need to have a public hearing is that the district is looking at a combination of financing sources, including borrowing, which would fall within Fund 38. Fund 38, as a reminder, is borrowing outside of referendum approved. And so the public hearing is the first step to the 30-day petition period where our public would have the opportunity to request this project due to the borrowing to go to referendum or the board to not proceed. So the first part of the PowerPoint is just to talk about the project as an overview. So like I said, it's going to be located at the high school, and it equals about a it's just shy of 675 kilowatt rooftop solar project. In the first year, we should see about 810,000 or 811,000 kilowatt hours produced by the array. And this will offset about 46% of our annual consumption at the high school, which is important because this will be a part of the way that we're able to fund the bonds, the premium and interest payments on an ongoing basis. So what we have here is an anticipated total cost of just over $1.2 million. This won't be the entire amount that the district has to borrow as we talk about the financing side of things. We've been fortunate with our ad hoc sustainability committee to write a grant that we're still waiting on for approval, but that will be able to help fund and offset some of this cost. We are looking at well over $2.5 million in total lifetime benefit to the district in savings on energy utility costs. Just a short graphic that was put together by our partners at McKinstry, and just also as a reminder, McKinstry has been working with the Ad Hoc Sustainability Committee to be able to facilitate and help manage this process. Currently, anybody that's going to be performing the work would have to submit an RFP, which would go through a evaluation process. So McKinstry is, acting similar to a construction manager and helping ensure that the project moves forward in an appropriate way. The district's getting what's set out in the RFP. In addition to that, they're helping us run our utility costs and ensuring that we're meeting those goals that we've set forth. So when we just look at the overall greenhouse gas reduction of just over 203 metric tons, which really equates to, 997 home electric use, 631,000 pounds of coal burning, or 73 million cell phones charged. And part of the reason that we wanted to look at this solar opportunity is that we've been continuing to move forward with our sustainability as a district, and we had this unique opportunity with the grant that I will explain here shortly. So when we look at the funding and financing portion of this, we have an estimated total cost of that $1.2 million. There are 3 funding sources that we're exploring to help pay for this project. Focus on energy rebate. This has been secured. We have $50,000 based on the information that we were able to provide. Focus on Energy has confirmed with us that we could apply $50,000 towards this. The second one is the grant that our ad hoc sustainability committee worked very hard on and submitted, and we're waiting for pending approval. So this Energy Innovation Grant Program was through the Wisconsin PSC, and it was for remaining funds from the ARA which opened up. It was a pretty quick turnaround that our committee had to work on. And so we've been able to apply up to the maximum $250,000. We should hear by the end of March if we've been awarded that 250,000, which then when you subtract the energy, focus on energy rebates and the grants, if we're awarded, that would bring down the amount that we would have to borrow through funds and Fund 38 to about just over $904,000. That's still an estimated amount because during the RFP process, we might have prices that come in lower than what we had anticipated. And then when we do the borrowing, we also might have lower interest rates. So when we look at the borrowing details, we're planning on borrowing up to $904,000 with a term up to 15 years. We won't exceed 15 years for the purposes of borrowing. And then we will work with PMA to walk through that process. And then our borrowing timeline. So back on March 10th, the school board approved the resolution to move forward with the possible approval of borrowing. And that also called the public hearing, which we're holding tonight on the 2nd. At the end of the public hearing, that will commence our 30-day petition period, which gives the opportunity for the public to submit a petition to the school board to advise them if they would prefer that this project either does not happen, is not borrowed through Fund 38, or there's a referendum. At the April 14th board meeting, we would be possible approving a parameters resolution for borrowing. Part of the reason that we need to do that is our 30-day petition period would not have closed until April 21st. If we want this project to happen over the summer, obviously we're in a very tight timeline. And so that petition or that parameters resolution sets forth very specific guidelines that administration and PMA would work on. If the grant is approved, what that interest rate amounts would look like, the total amounts. And if that is passed at the April 14th board meeting, then the 30-day petition period closes on the 21st. And then on April 22nd, if there has been no petition presented to the school district or the school, Board of Education, the district actually could proceed on April 22nd to move forward to go to the market and secure funding, as long as that funding falls within the parameters that's approved by the board on April 14th. So that's a very quick overview. So it'd be an opportunity now for questions from the or for questions or public comments.
Go ahead, Pete. I'm scrolling. Looks like I'm
Yeah,
gonna have
sure. Oh, I should turn on the raise hand, use the raise hand feature. That
Yeah.
makes it easier. Anyway.
to.
I just wanted to comment that the only thing that for the public we're doing here is opening this discussion so that we can have the bonds ready if and when we need them. We're not approving with this bond sale. We're not at any point approving this project or proceeding with anything in the project. We're simply because of the timeline, if we do proceed, we want to get it done this summer, and because of the 30-day comment period, we would want to we want to be ready, and we want to have this 30-day comment period, 30-day public period completed before we move forward. So we'll have it because of the tight time going forward. And actually, Jared, I was going to ask you if you could comment on the amount of the borrowing versus the estimated 900,000 financed, the amount of the approval.
I'm not understanding, Peter.
The amount of the borrowing is 1.25 million, right?
Yeah.
And you're estimating a financing of 900,000. You're just leaving space in that, or what's the difference? Where's the difference?
Perfect. Now I understand, Peter. Thank you. The reason that we passed the resolution of the $1.2 million is that since we do not know the details of the grants, and depending on the process of paying, so some grants require the entire thing to be paid for, then you submit for reimbursements. And so in order for us to be able to do that entire commitment of that 1.2. We left the resolution to authorize that. However, that would be something that would be taken care of in the parameters that would be passed on April 14th, which at that time we should know the details of the grant and how that grant will work specifically for the school district.
Right.
If there's any public comment or questions, could you use the raise hand feature? That way I can call you. And so far I do not see anyone. Was there any board members that wanted to comment, had any more additional questions? Okay, I'm not seeing anything out here. So I guess
That's fine. We've done our duty.
okay, so I guess we can go ahead and close the public hearing. Can I have a motion for adjournment?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? Nope. Hearing, seeing none. All in favor, Peter,
Aye.
Susan Fox,
Aye.
Susan Manning,
Aye.
Elizabeth,
Aye.
Lorraine,
Aye.
Eric, you out there? Eric's not here. Andrew, aye. Motion carries.